having to recover from that.
Complete domination for the Wolverines over their arch rivals.
The Block O means so much to so many people. It's their identity. It's who they are. And so it's a great responsibility to make sure you're holding up that identity. And this game obviously is a huge part of that.
What's the burden of that for the head coach?
Yeah, well, it's what you take on when you take the job. It's a great job, but it's not an easy job. Everybody in Buckeye Nation is counting on you to get it done.
Facing a team without its head coach on the sideline, how, if at all, Ryan, does that affect strategy, game flow, reaction?
It's about us. It isn't really about anybody else. And so we're just going to do everything we can to prepare.
Like Coach Mick talked about, this is a defining moment in our season right now.
It's about us. It's not about them, bro.
How would you describe the pressure you feel for this game?
Everything we've done all year has been a routine to play this game.
Fires! Touchdown, Buckeyes!
This is why you come to Ohio State, is to play in environments like this, what's all on the line. It is going to be one hell of an atmosphere.
Ryan Day is 54-1. 54-1 in games not involving Michigan or the playoffs. He recently passed our Urban Meyer to become the winningest head coach percentage-wise at The Ohio State. Is this pressure on him valid, Coach?
You know, there's a lot of people that don't really understand this. Every waking moment, and I say that sometimes, come on, every waking moment, this is in your mind. When you go home, it's on your mind. When you work, obviously, all through that facility. When you meet former Buckeyes, you go through the great state of Ohio, this is on your mind. So the pressure is immense. But like Ryan said, when you sign that contract at Ohio State, it's yours. You have to own it.
This game and these two teams represent more than just college football programs. The reality is this is a big piece of both these cultures and communities in the state of Michigan, the state of Ohio. That's what's on the line. You heard Ryan Day say it a moment ago. This is who everyone in the state of Ohio identifies with as a Buckeye. Same thing for the Wolverines up north. And so these sort of monumental games are a part of your legacy. And as I think if you look at Ryan Day over the course of the past couple of years, there are some things they missed out on the physicality of that. He's built this team now to combat what they've seen from Michigan the past 2 years. This is the toughest, most physical team he's had, and I think he wants to put that on display today. But this is a Michigan team without Jim Harbaugh. And they've got a team that's been banged up. They've played some tight games coming into it. It feels like these are two teams that are going in different directions right now. And if not now, then when for Ryan Day to beat this Michigan team in Ann Arbor?
I think watching that piece and then getting to know you, Coach, sit next to you the last couple of years, I'm thinking, like, there's only a few people in the world that could be the head coach at Ohio State and would be able to withstand the pressure. Like, I just look at Ryan Day and his tenure here, and I know this game means more. I get it, but they're a field goal away from winning the national championship last year. If you think about that, they missed a field goal against Georgia. They're going to beat TCU in the championship game. He has the best winning percentage of any active coach in college football. He is outstanding. And I go back to this. Jim Harbaugh started 0-5 against Ohio State. I know you were 7-0. Dabo Swinney was 1-5 against South Carolina when he took over Clemson. And you look at the run that he went on. Things change, right? This is ebbs and flows. You just have to be able to withstand the punches. And then today, right, without Jim Harbaugh on that sideline, this is the day. You said it. They're better equipped to take on the Wolverines this year.
Listen, Ryan Day is a really good head coach. He's brought this team to the playoffs in 3 of his 4 seasons. So he's having success. But listen, when you become the head coach at a prolific university, I know, much like Alabama, if you have 10-win seasons, it's looked at almost as a failure. If you don't have the banners to hang in the rafters, if you don't have the trophies, the champions to show for it, it's almost looked as a failure, and you're going to hear about it. Is it fair? No. But is it the harsh reality of having the head coaching position at a prolific university? Yes.
It's what you sign up for. That's the reality. And when you signed that contract at Ohio State, you knew exactly what you were getting into.
And I've signed a lot of contracts, but I'll never forget when I left it and said, win every game you play, never lose the rival. And I remember going, wow. And I said, give me that thing, let's go get it.
And you signed it in blood as well.
Yeah.
7-0. The first Buckeye head coach to lose consecutive games to Michigan since John Cooper back in 1999 and 2000. Cooper, he was pink-slipped after that last loss. Day with Game 4 in his career against the Wolverines coming up in under 17 minutes.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody's holiday weekend going on? My name is Rob Trujillo. Doing a little stream for the Ohio State, the game. Ohio State versus Michigan. Number 2 versus number 3 in the land. And I thought, what a better time to do a college football game than to have the pseudo college football playoff game crank it up for us on this Saturday. I was going to say afternoon. It's not even afternoon. Saturday morning. As always, would love to hear your guys' bets. Wrestled all night last night with who I was going to put money on to open with. If you've watched the channel before, you know I'm a guy who likes to try to middle games. I'm okay with getting out, breaking even. So if I can get a big fat middle in there and try to middle something, I will. I ended up going with Ohio State plus 3.5. My biggest factor in that decision was Ohio State's wide receivers. I think the past couple of years, this game has been very knockdown, drag out. I think that favors Michigan, and I think Ohio State needs to do everything they can to make sure that that's not how this game looks. If they get into let's play 1980s football and pound the rock and, have strength versus strength, I think that favors Michigan in a big way. I don't know how much not having Harbaugh matters. He gets the coach during the week. So it's just in-game decisions. So I think that minimizes the struggle it creates for Michigan. But I don't think it's non-existent. As far as the over-under goes, I feel like this is going to be an over. But it's very high for a college game. On the screen right now, they got 46.5. I thought I saw 46 flat, but either way, I mean, very high for a college game. I shouldn't say that. Very high for a Big Ten game, I guess is what I should say. If you're in the Big 12 or something like that, 46 and nothing. But so for a Big Ten game, it's a very high number, but I believe it's an over. But that's part of my game script. Like, I think Ohio State is going to have to score. I know there's games like versus Notre Dame where they only put up 14 or, 16 or whatever. So there's a possibility that it's a low-scoring game. But I feel like you can hit the over on 46 here. J.J. McCarthy is going to be a big key for me for Michigan because I think it's going to turn into a little bit of a shootout. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate who, hands the ball off 40 times a game. And people have used that to say that, like, good for him. He's all about the team. He's all about winning. And I understand where they're coming from saying that, you're hurting your own Heisman case by doing that. But I also think it doesn't necessarily steel you, doesn't necessarily get you ready for moments like this. And if Michigan has their way, he's going to have a lot of them over the next couple months. He's going to have the game. He's going to have a Big Ten championship game. He's going to have a college football playoff game and a national championship game if Michigan has its way. And so, the fact that they haven't asked that much of him up until now, for a young guy, you say like, oh, he can get ready, get his feet wet. But for a guy like J.J. McCarthy, I don't know. I would have liked to see them open it up a little bit, but it's just not how they play. So, it's gonna be an interesting game. It really is. Going through their picks now, Brady Quinn likes Ohio State, hitting the over. Ingram likes Michigan, hitting the over, right? 46, yeah. Matt Leinart likes the over. Charles is the first one to not pick an over. So that's actually interesting. Ohio State is gonna. Urban's gonna pick Ohio State. I think it's possible both these teams actually get in the CFP, depending on how this game looks. Milkman, what's good, man? Let's see. Because Michigan don't play anyone, though, Ohio State is the toughest one this year. I mean, in the playoffs, they get blown out by better teams. No, I agree with you. I kind of was saying that about J.J. McCarthy a little bit ago. You haven't really asked him to do a whole lot, and I think he's going to be strained a little bit in this game. I think they're going to ask him. I think Ohio State's going to score. And if Ohio State scores, that means Michigan has to score, and you put a lot of pressure on J.J. McCarthy. Michigan hadn't played anybody. But that being said, if this is a great game and comes down to the wire, and you have either Washington or FSU falter down the stretch, then I think you could end up with both these teams in. And in a scenario where it's like they're like 2-4, so the only chance that they meet again is in the title game. And if the title game is a rematch of the game, yeah, I could. I mean, I don't think the committee would mind that at all. This game about to do huge numbers. So if you have a title game that is Ohio State, Michigan, I don't think they mind one bit. But FSU without Travis, I think there's a strong possibility that you could get Georgia, winner of this game, Washington, and then if Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC championship and Florida State loses the ACC championship, the loser of this game could sneak in as number 4. I mean, Bama can get in if they just win the SEC. That's all I got to do. You could have 2 one-loss SEC teams in there. All the pageantry going on. I know it's part of the game. People love it. I don't know. It just never seems like it's very well done to me. Milk, what's your scenario for Bama getting in? And do you have any money on the game? Thrilled. I really like Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt a lot. I know some people don't, but excited to have them on this call. Some of the shakeups in the play-by-play teams this year have not been my favorite, but I still like these guys a lot. So, thank you for everybody lurking in. I see we got like 5 people in here, 7 people in here. As always, appreciate those likes, those follows, those subscribes. Twitch is really on me to get my subscribers up. So appreciate that. If you can pull it off. Matt on YouTube. That's why I despise what's coming next year. The regular season conference championship games will no longer matter. Will no longer matter. Listen, there's always going to be a 13th team. There's a 69th team in the NCAA basketball tournament. There's going to be a 13th team in the college football playoff tournament. I also think that the bye that you will get is going to be absolutely massive. So being in the top format is going to matter. And the CFP has shown in years past that they will favor conference champions over teams that don't have a conference championship, which matters, right? Like they have to show it in their rankings that conference championships matter to them. So I understand what you're saying. Like this game next year, we're going to say both these teams are going to get in. But what you'll be playing for in this game is a bye. You know what I mean? A free advance, which matters, I think. So if you get in a scenario where this is for a top 4 seed and a bye, and the loser has to host a round of the playoff that they were hoping to not have to play, yeah, I mean, I think the game still matters. Same thing goes with conference championships. I think, what was it, K-State last year beats TCU. They get into the 12th team because it's an automatic bid, right? And then TCU still gets in too, and TCU can prove it if they belong there. But I think rewarding teams that win their conference with an automatic bid is fine with me. I like the way the NFL does their playoffs. You reward teams that win their division with a playoff spot. What I don't like is that the playoff spot guarantees a home game. I think the NFL should change their rules to make it so if you win your division, yes, you get an automatic playoff seed. But if you have the worst record of all the teams in the playoffs, if you have the worst record and you were in the worst division, like, what are we talking about? You're terrible. So instead of a home playoff game, go on the road and get pasted. And just the top 4 records should host playoff games. Been saying that for a long time. Your winning a division should only get you in, shouldn't get you a home game. But that's aside from the point. All right, Milkman with his scenario for getting Bama in. Ohio beats Michigan. I assume we mean Ohio State. Michigan out. Florida State loses the ACC championship game and they're out. Washington loses to Oregon in the Pac-12 championship and they're out. Texas loses to Oklahoma and they can't get in. So Bama beats Georgia in the SEC championship game and we get in. I don't even know that you need all of that to happen, Milk, to get Bama in. That's a lot that I don't think that you need. I think you need Texas to lose to Oklahoma if you want to talk about Bama getting in. But Texas losing to Oklahoma and Bama beating Georgia, I think gets them in. SEC champions, 1 loss. Yeah, I think that gets them in. All right, here we go. Finally, a little action here. I really think the Buckeyes here, and if you want to try to settle down this drive, that's one thing. But I really think they got to throw the ball to win this game. I understand that you got 4 undefeated teams in there. See? Come on now. Good stop by Michigan to start the game. I like the All-Navies. Oh. Bunch of cheaters. Oh my God, Milk. Come on, man. Let's see. Oh, I mean, it just doesn't matter to me, Milk. I think a lot of teams do it. I think Michigan did it more than the other teams, but I think a lot of the reason that you haven't seen teams come out stronger against what Michigan did and angry is because they all do it too. Like, it's stealing signs been part of football for forever. Now, listen, sending a guy out to different games to try to get him is not the best. But, I mean, I just don't think it's as big of a deal as people make of it. Not exactly what you want when you punt the ball away there for Ohio State. So, strange to me. Ohio State comes out, runs the ball twice. And then Michigan flips around. They're the running team, and they come out throwing. Stop trying to get cute, man. Do what you do well. Let's see if they run it here. Yeah. There's a scenario. By the way, what's up, Ben Smith? Ben Smith, Atlanta Braves fan. There's a scenario that the college football playoff committee is a no-win scenario. Here's the scenario. Oregon wins out and wins the Pac-12. Texas wins out with a win over Alabama and wins the Big 12. Alabama wins out, wins the SEC. And Florida State, undefeated ACC. Ohio State wins out, wins the Big Ten, and gets left out. Well, so they have said, and it'll be interesting to test their mettle, but they have said that they will place an emphasis on conference champions. Now you got 5 conference champions, right? So one of them theoretically has to get left out. In this scenario, they've also said that they will look at injuries. They take injuries into account. So it'll be tough, Ben Smith. But I think there's a possibility they leave out Florida State in that scenario without Travis. It would be tough, but it's a possibility. If that's the case, then Oregon definitely gets in. Alabama definitely gets in as the SEC title. Ohio State definitely gets in because they're undefeated and they're probably number 1 going in. And then I think they probably leave out Florida State in that scenario. Washington would be out with the loss. I think Oregon probably gets left out as your conference champion who's out, and Texas gets in over. So then who did I have? It would be Ohio State number 1, probably Texas 2. Sorry, I'm trying to keep all the scenarios straight in my head. So Oregon would be the Pac-12 winner, so Washington's out. Texas would probably be ranked 2nd with a win over Alabama and a Big 12 title. Ohio State would be 1, undefeated with a Big Ten title. I think Bama's probably 4 with the SEC title there. Trying to decide if they would put in Georgia. I don't think they would, though. So maybe Oregon gets in there. Or you put in ACC. You put in the Florida State into that 4th spot. Get a Texas Alabama rematch for one of your CFP games. That could be. I mean, the ratings would be crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a possibility there that they leave the ACC out. But the way when I was sitting there thinking about it, there's a spot for him. I also, and Ben Smith, I said this before the game started. I don't know if you were here, but I think there's a possibility that both these teams, Ohio State and Michigan, why are you running the ball? Ohio State and Michigan both make the playoff. If you have I think it would have to be Ohio State that lost. But you could have Michigan go in as the 2 and Ohio State go in as the 4. And a rematch only possible in the national championship game. To do that, you would have to have Georgia win the SEC. ACC would have to lose. Florida State would have to lose the ACC title game. Oregon beats Washington for the Pac-12 title game. Actually, even if Washington wins, they probably just get in, and then you can have Ohio State at 4. Texas loses to Oklahoma in the Big 12 title game. But yeah, I think there's a path for both these teams to end up in the playoff. Wow, Kyle McCord is... Even that one that hit his wide receiver in the hands was like low and behind. Yeah, I mean, Ben Smith is a great question, and I think the CFP would love to put that as one of their matchups. But to get that, you need both them to be conference champions. And then if they're both conference champions, then you are looking at leaving out Georgia, which I think is tough. Georgia's schedule hasn't been great, but it's still the SEC. You know what I mean? So to leave them out, even with one loss to Bama in the SEC title game, is tough to do. Third and 10, man. So, how gutsy is Ryan Day here? 4th and 1, almost midfield. He's going to punt. Yeah. I mean, this game to me is a lot about like who's going to take the first chance. But I mean, you say that because it fits your narrative, Milkman, but it's not 100% true. They play in major conferences. Like, they're 75% of their schedule is made for them. So the NCAA shouldn't look at anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's conferences need to be better. You didn't spend any time saying that about Alabama when they were dominating. Right now, of the teams that Georgia beat, 4 of them are ranked. I mean, come on. Kentucky is currently ranked 20th. Missouri is currently ranked 12th. Ole Miss is currently ranked 9th. Tennessee is currently ranked 18th. Like, their schedule is plenty tough. I don't think the NCAA needs to look at anything for Georgia. And if they beat Alabama in the SEC title game, your complaints are just 100% not valid. Let's look at Michigan. Currently, their only ranked win is number 10, Penn State. But if they win this, they'll also have beaten number 2, Ohio State. So, yeah, I mean, listen, you play who's on your schedule. But Rutgers, Nebraska, Minnesota, Indiana, Michigan State, Purdue, Penn State, Maryland, Ohio State. Those are all scheduled for them. They don't choose to play those games. Now, the games that they chose aren't super tough. Bowling Green, UNLV, East Carolina. But they're also not even like I mean, they're not even FBS teams or FCS teams. Like, you're acting like they're FCS teams. Like, UNLV has been decent in the Mountain West. They could win the thing. Let's see. They're 9-2 right now, UNLV. I'm shocked they're not ranked, to be honest with you. But they could win the Mountain West easily. So it's not like they played nobody. You know, like, what do you expect them to schedule in their non-conference? So yeah, I think some of the schedule complaining hasn't been that right. Let's see. Ben Smith, Texas hasn't been playing good. Beat Kansas State by 3. Beat TCU by 3. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think Texas has looked overly impressive, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to if they have a Big 12 title. I mean, if they end up with one loss and a conference championship, I think there's a good chance that they have a look at one of those spots if there's not 4 undefeated teams. I think it's between them and Oregon for the strongest one-loss teams if they stay with one loss all the way up until the selection. Yeah, a lot of the conferences had gone to that this year, Ben Smith. Says next year the SEC will look different with no more division games. Teams that finish 1 and 2 will play each other for the conference title. A lot of conferences did that this year. Pac-12, ACC, all doing that this year, trying to get a better conference championship game than they've had in years past, because you always end up with a 5-6 team playing a 12-0 team, and then the 5-6 team wins, and you end up eating your own conference, and it sucks. Hey, how about this, Michigan? Run the football. What you do so freaking well. Don't forget, likes, subscribes, follows, all appreciated. When Twitch told me that they hate me and they don't want to give me any money, it's because I don't have enough. I don't have enough subscriptions, so always appreciate those subscribes. See, that's the J.J. McCarthy thing that I was talking about. Like, he's just hasn't been in a lot of high leverage, high pressure situations, you know? Matt on YouTube says, slightly off topic, but has anyone figured out what the best number of members in a conference is? 22 seems like too much, but 12 is too few. What's going to happen is these conferences are going to remove themselves from the NCAA and create an alliance between the conferences and play for a title that they call the national championship. And the NCAA isn't going to be able to do anything about it. So to do that, what they're going to end up doing is, I think it'll end up just being 2 conferences, Big Ten and SEC. And I think they'll each have about 45 to 50 teams in them, and they will set up their own regional scheduling. And it'll be a whole lot more like old school college football, because it'll just be divisions that are the old school conferences. So conferences used to be conferences because of regional location, Southeastern Conference, right? I think that happens again. I think the Big Ten and the SEC get together. They say, "Hey, we're gonna build like the AFC and the NFC. We're gonna build this with an alliance between the 2 of us, saying that the winner of these are our national champion. They're gonna split each into 4 divisions inside the SEC. You get and inside the Big Ten, and then you'll get a little playoff round inside of them, and then you'll have a Super Bowl, which will be the national championship game." So I think you're going to end up seeing like 45 to 50 teams in each conference, and that is going to be de facto Division I. And then everybody else will be Division II. Or I should say FCS. Problem with 22 teams in a conference. Milk, you're just such an angry human being, bro. Like, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. I want to just come give you a hug, brother, because I just don't know why you're so angry. Yeah, I mean, they're playing the number 2 team in the country, so maybe that has something to do with it. In terms of the conferences right now, 22 doesn't work for what we're used to conferences being. A lot of these conferences are going to go to pod scheduling. So you'll have 4 or 5 teams that are in your pod that you play every year, and then they'll probably do same place finishers for their other games. And that's how you'll auto schedule every year, kind of like the NFL does with their divisions. And then I don't think we're too far away from these conferences instituting an in-conference playoff to decide a champion. So 4 teams, Big Ten semifinals, Big Ten championship. Oh! Kyle McCord's the first to crack. Milkman, really? If Georgia or Bama to play Michigan, you'll pick Michigan? Okay. I don't know what's the context of you asking this question? Where are Georgia or Bama playing Michigan? What is the scenario? Yeah, I absolutely think Michigan can hang with either of those 2 teams. But I know that makes you angry, so. Yeah, this is going to be tough for you as Michigan. What you're best at is running the ball, but it's not like a traditional running game, I don't feel like. And so if Ohio State loads up and knows you're going to run, it's going to make it tough on you inside the 10 here. I think you got to trust J.J. McCarthy a little bit down here, maybe a boot, RPO, something like that. Yeah, 3 wide receivers on the field. Just spread them out and make the run different, you know what I mean? I like that play call. I like that play call mostly because I like the formation there. You throw 3 wide receivers out there, you take a couple big guys for them off the field, and then run it right at them. You know what I mean? That's what you do well. So I really like the play call and the formation there. Yes, Milkman, I do. Can he get there? Is he in? Wow, I thought he was in. Whew. All right, well, I go for it here because if Ohio State has to start their drive inside my 1-yard line, good luck. Yeah, I think he's in. How are you saying he's not in the end zone? Here you go. Here's a shot right down the line. Yeah, dude, he's in. That's a touchdown. It's just so close. Yeah, and Klatt just made the point, like in replay, that'll be really hard to change, and I think that'll be really hard to change. Here you go. Here's your first we don't have Jim Harbaugh moment, deciding whether you go for this or not. I absolutely go for this. Like I said, Ohio State having to start their next drive inside my 1-yard line is the threat I want. But yeah, this line shot is it. It looks like he's over, but it's going to be hard to change the call. Like if the call was that he was over, I think they would leave it. But, okay. Milkman says the scenario is college football playoff, both teams undefeated at the Rose Bowl. You think Michigan can hang with the big teams? Yeah, yes, I do. Does that mean I think they're going to win? No, but I think both Georgia and Bama are down this year. I don't think either of them are as good as they have been in years past. 4th down. I feel like most everybody agrees that the SEC is down this year. It's not the same as it used to be. Still the best conference in college football, but that gap has closed. 4th down. Walks in. There you go. Yeah, Michigan capitalizing on that turnover is huge. And you wonder what it does to McCord, right? Like that, to me, is one of the big unsaid things about turnovers. It's not just the turnover, the points, blah, blah, blah. It's the confidence of the guy who turns it over, especially in college football, you know? So we'll have to see what Kyle McCord looks like. How does he respond? 7-0. I was on Ohio State plus 3.5 before the game started. So let's see what the lines are now. You can get 6.5 for Ohio State. Plus 195 on the money line. If I was looking to get in money line, which I'm not, but if I was looking to get in money line, I'd think about taking the plus 195 right now. and the total has dropped a point to 45.5 after they saw how boring the start of the game was. Okay. Let's see. Milk. What down this year are you for real? Michigan and Ohio and Penn State are the only Big Ten teams. I don't think it's the Big Ten that is challenging them, but okay. Are the only Big Ten teams are ranked? Well, the SEC has like 4 teams ranked, and they're down this year. Yeah, I think the SEC is down this year, so let me answer your question very simply. I think the SEC is down this year because I think the talent in the SEC spread out. You used to have these monolithic teams that got all of the good players, and I think with cheating, for lack of a better term, being regulated in terms of paying your players. First of all, the quickest and easiest teams to organize that are other SEC teams who had probably been paying some players and paying not quite as much, but paying players before this all became legal. Now they get to organize, and a school like Missouri all of a sudden jumps up and is ranked in the top 20, top 15. And then I think other schools that are very committed to what they do start pulling away some people from the bottom of the roster of a Georgia and an Alabama. Kids used to go there and say, I'll wait my term, I'll turn and play for a national title. Now it's really hard to convince kids that they should go somewhere and sit when instead they can go somewhere and play and get paid and then just transfer back to whatever big school they want. So the depth isn't there for Alabama, for Georgia, that they are used to having. And instead, those kids are playing at Nebraska and Colorado and Oregon and Washington. And the dominance of the SEC is going to depend on, after they play well at Oregon, Alabama boosters coming in and saying, we'll pay $1 million a year to come play for us here in Alabama, even though you had a really good year in Oregon or whatever. So the depth of those teams, I think, hurts them. If you've noticed, Michigan, Ohio State being ranked in the top 5, you want to know why? Because they were schools that had plenty of boosters, plenty of money, and were paying kids to come to school there anyway. Now that it's legal and unregulated, now that it's legal and unregulated, it's very easy for Ohio State to organize and just start paying kids. You know what I mean? So I don't think... I think it's very obvious. I think, like, even your guy Saban has said it on McAfee. Like, it is certainly changing the game and hurting these SEC schools where he used to be able to recruit kids and say, come to Bama and you'll play in 2 years and we're going to turn you into a pro. Now it's, hey, we can't give you playing time right now. That's really what that sounds like. And they're going to have to hit the transfer portal hard. So I don't think anything I'm saying there is, crazy. 2nd and 6. I'm at 5 minutes of the first. Probably a little bit behind y'all with the internet lag for both of these. Ohio State is trying so hard to establish the run, and I don't know. Unless you're worried about Kyle McCord, I just don't love it. Start ripping it. Your strength is your wide receivers. Nice back shoulder throw. And that takes confidence, man. Like we were just talking about, what does that do to McCord's confidence? That back shoulder throw. Because if the cornerback picks up on it, it's a pick. You know what I mean? But back shoulder throw. Right back at your guy. And I think he's looking at Harrison saying, if you're one-on-one, I'm going to throw it to you. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, your receivers are so much better than their defensive backs. But why do you have to get down 7-0 before you start doing this if you're Ryan Day? You know what I mean? Like, run your offense. Do what you're good at. Yeah, now you got a holding call, too. Yeah, I was going to say that's not the angle that we need to see there. Interesting. All right, well, now you're in the high red here if you're Ohio State, and this is where I think Ohio State has to convert. I don't think you want to get into the red zone with the way that you throw the ball. I think you want to be scoring from the high red if you're Ohio State. You know, not that you wouldn't take getting into the red zone. I just think you're more lethal from the high red. Oh, man. So McCord almost throws a pick, and that, I mean, right back to the confidence thing that I was talking about. It's good to see him rip that in there when it maybe even isn't the best throw, because it shows that he's got the guts to throw it, and I'm good with that. Yeah, and that's just a young quarterback thing. Klatt says he's got a tendency to stare at his first receiver and then throw it there. That's very simply a young quarterback problem. Timeout on 3rd and 8. Okay, so let's take a look at these conferences since your boy Milkman is in such a tizzy because I said that the SEC is still the best conference in football. just the gap closed. And of course he's all butthurt about it. All right, right now, Georgia ranked number 1, Missouri 9, Tennessee 21, Alabama 8, Ole Miss 12, LSU 14. So there's 6 ranked teams in the SEC. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 ranked teams in the Pac-12. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 ranked teams in the Big Ten. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 ranked teams in the Big 12. There is 1, 2, 3, 4 ranked teams in the ACC. Terrible throw from McCord. And I think you got to take the 3 here on the road. Just try to take some points, keep in contact. Yes, excellent. Tough kick with the sun right in your face right here. Nice job. 7-3. All right, let's see what the spreads are. Yeah, 4.5 for Ohio State. And then plus 160 on the money line. Total still at 45.5. 10 points in. Yeah, man. So I don't know. I'm looking at all these conferences and just I don't know. I don't know where you think that I'm wrong saying that they've closed the gap. There's 4 ranked teams in the ACC, and that doesn't include North Carolina, who could absolutely be a ranked team. It doesn't include Duke, who could absolutely be a ranked team. UNC is 8-3 and not ranked. In the Big 12, West Virginia is 7-4 and not ranked. Kansas 7-4 and not ranked. West Virginia's losses: Penn State, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, and Houston. Houston's probably the one that's hurting them the worst there. That was that last-second Hail Mary touchdown. That was a crazy game. But without that, they're probably ranked. So I don't know. I just don't see where the SEC is that much better than all these other conferences. The SEC lost a bunch in cross-conference play. J.J. McCarthy. Oh, it was 1 for 2 for 0 yards. Now it's 2 for 3 for 9. Take a shot. 2nd and 1. Take a shot, Michigan. See, and they just run it and pick up the first down, and I get you, but, I mean, I don't know. Jim Knowles. There you go. What, with their tight end, really? Hey man, this is all about how good J.J. McCarthy is. You know what I mean? They're talking about can they win this tight end matchup? For a tight end matchup, I mean, yes, they present matchup problems, but tight ends, it's all about does your quarterback trust them enough to throw it to them while they're covered? Because they're never gonna uncover and get 3 or 4 yards of separation. Unless the defense blows it, you know what I mean? So, for a guy like that, you got to be able to trust him and willing to throw it to him, even when he may not be completely wide open. Long first quarter, man. Right? Doesn't this feel like a long first quarter? Yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock already. Shot play. Why are you taking that on first down and not on 2nd and 1? I mean, come on. Not a great double move. Yeah, good coverage, but also not a great double move. Yeah, that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. So I will run commercials along with them and turn off the pre-roll and be back for the second quarter. We'll be right back. Wow, what a terrible commercial for Undisputed. Wasn't even funny. God, I hate Skip Bayless with every fiber of my being, and I can't believe that people watch him so much. All right. So now you're in 3rd and 8 because you took a shot play on 1st down when you could have taken it on 2nd and 1. And now you're in 4th and 1. And that's the kind of, I don't know, it's the game script stuff that just doesn't make sense to me. It's like you were 2nd and 1, you ran the ball, you picked up the 1st down. Like, okay, well then don't take a shot on 1st and 10. What are you doing? At least he's going to go for this, but I mean, disappointing. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go for it, make sure you got the right call on. It's only the first half. Burning one of those timeouts isn't a big deal. Not helping the pace of this game, though. It's crawling, this game. And it does every year, too. I mean, it's just part of when you have these gigantic games that happen every year. But, all right, 4th and 1. I don't love that play call. Let's put everybody in the middle of the field and then run it right at everybody. Like, what are you doing? Even on the goal line, you put 3 wide receivers in there to spread them out, and that's how you got from the 5 to the 1. I get it. I'm a man. I'm tougher. Like, come on, man. See, but even there, they're running it with 3 wide receivers. I think this Michigan team is so much better. Well, you know, here's the thing. They haven't played a team like Ohio State. Like, Penn State's as close as they've gotten. But I think this Michigan team is so much better running out of 11 personnel than they are out of big personnel, you know? Spread that defense out and then run at them. Give yourself favorable numbers in the box. 2nd and 8, you got 6 guys in the box right now. Now you can run it. And they do. Oof. It's an ugly tackle out of bounds. Yeah, he was pissed that he got tackled out of bounds like that. I just don't think, you know, like 23 personnel when you're going with like a jumbo goal line package. I just don't think that's the strength of this Michigan team, and you might have gotten away with it against teams who don't have quite as much talent, but if you pack everybody in and then run the ball at them against a team like Ohio State, they're going to be able to stop you. 3rd and 6, and he takes off running. Did he get there? Well, that was a generous spot, I feel like. Yeah, but the ball is behind. Yeah, that was a generous spot, I feel like. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's short. Are they challenging it? Yeah. That's interesting. I think he's going to be short, and you're going to end up with, what was it, 4th and 1? Which I hate, by the way. I don't love this rule, if I'm being completely honest. Can we not, by the way, get iPhones on the ref's wrist? Like, we all watch these replays on our iPhone, and we're like, "Yep, I know." Like, can we not just give him a little wristband with an iPhone, and it's like, "Okay, beam me it. Yeah, he was short. Okay, let's go." Like, isn't that faster? Can't we do that? I don't know, man. It's got to be a better scenario. Nice pickup. Nice play call. A little play off of what you just did. Quick release by the tight end, and he's just got to pick up a yard. Oof. I mean, I guess I would need to see the all 22, but it feels like he should have ran there. Show the back angle. This is one thing I don't like about the Fox broadcast. They are not great with replays. You know, Klott's sitting there breaking it down, and I think doing an excellent job. And it's like, okay, well, I don't need to see pictures of them lining up for the next snap. Show me a replay. What a throw. Oh, did he drop it? Show me that this was a completed touchdown before we're counting it here. So I think he had it in his hands, and then it gets knocked out after he crosses the line, but you got to make sure he completes the catch, I guess, is what I'm looking for. Heck of a throw. I mean, Oh, he's juggling it that whole time. I don't know. Yeah, and Klatt just said it. Does he control that ball? I don't know that he does. The ball's not dead at the goal line. Yeah. He never controls this ball. That's an interception. That's Ohio State ball on the 20, 25. 25? I think this would be a 25. He never controls this ball. And Burke from Ohio State rips it out. I don't think it's that close. I don't think it's that close. Dino's saying, he's going over, do we have enough to overturn this, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's that close. He was, and if he doesn't bobble it right at the beginning there, where it pops up. Oh, I think that's a terrible call. I think that's a terrible call. That ball squirts out of his arm and up, and I just don't think he ever controls it. Crazy. I feel like that's was a really generous call from them. But all right, let's take a look at the lines now. $8.5. But you're minus 120 for the 8.5. I don't get that. That only gives you 11. Like, why are you minus 120 for that? It doesn't even put you in the lead. Unfortunately, the game script not going a way that I think would be good for me to middle it, so it's gonna suck a little bit. Looking through the rest of the games, Texas A&M, LSU. It's an interesting one. Louisville, Kentucky. That's fun. Love this weekend. Love the rivalry game weekend. Arizona, Arizona State. Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Washington, Washington State. Florida, Florida State. Like, it's just fun. I really do enjoy it. I think that's when you can start to see things that you don't necessarily think you're going to see, especially in college football. I think people use the term throw out the records too much, but this is the weekend that you actually throw out the records. You know what I mean? So I just wish this game wasn't at 10 a.m., man. Like, I don't know. I know Fox wanted to create a window that they owned, and when it came to college football, by having the best game in that time slot, and you're not going to do it in the early afternoon because of the SEC, and you're not going to do it at night because of ESPN. So this is really the only window that they could have taken over, but I don't love it. Ryan Day was hyped during that commercial break. I don't blame him. I thought that was a terrible call. All right, if you're Ohio State, you got to come away with some sort of points here. Even 3 to turn it back into a 1-score game, but I think you got to come away with some sort of points on this drive. There you go. Nice throw from McCourt. Oh, is he all right? Thank God. Little hip drop tackle. I was worried his ankle got caught underneath there. Excellent throw. Gutsy throw because you're throwing it at the back of somebody's head, but you got to trust that they're not going to turn around, you know? And now you're at like the 30. So you're starting to get into field goal range here. You got to make sure the number one thing, if I was in that huddle, if I was Kyle McCord, I'd be saying to the guys is do not take a negative play. Smart plays here. Use your head. Nice check down. Check down, first down. And you're inside the red now. My feed's starting to bite it a little bit here. Let's see if I can get it to reload here. See, and Klott's saying that they can't settle for a field goal, and I disagree. Make sure you get the 3 here. Damn, my feet's biting it, kids. Oof. I think that's the right call for the holding call. I think that was right. I mean, I don't know that I would have called it, but if it's on anybody, it's on the defensive player. Wow, bad spot. That's a terrible spot. He got down to like the 2. And this is what I was talking about with Ohio State scoring from the high red. 67th in red zone offense. Nice. Good play. And he'll get in. Excellent play call. Ibuka in motion through the back of the backfield. You buy him a little bit of space. Great design. Yeah. $14-10. This one's going to be fun. Let's go. All right, I'm going to take a quick commercial break with them. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Got to get a stop here if you're Ohio State. Try to flip the script on this. Don't let them start running away, score for score. Oh, great, another commercial. You know, I wish that there wasn't so many freaking commercials. Getting a little tired of this. Let's see, is it 11:30 yet? Yeah, 11:31. We are an hour and a half past proposed kickoff time, and we are 2 minutes into the second quarter. Come on. Oh, frustrating. Holy Christ, man. It's been like 4 minutes worth of commercials, and they just came back from a commercial break. Like, it's ridiculous. If you're going to run commercial breaks back to back, make them not 4-minute commercials. Good Lord. Hey, we're playing football. Holy shit. Nice little swing pass. A moment where I feel like you've got to get your guy back in rhythm a little bit, so I don't hate that call on first down. Wow. Tried to pull a Josh Allen there and zing it in. like that. I just think Michigan's so much more effective spreading you out and then running at you. Ohio State linebackers, bro. Check down. Oh, man, you had your check. I mean, big for Ohio State. Get a stop there. See if you can close this gap. Don't start going score for score with them. You know what I mean? Wow. Excellent punt. That ball just checked right up. Excellent punt. Oh, hey, look, another commercial. Oh, okay. Let's look at our scores going on around town here. Louisville up 10-7 on Kentucky at halftime. These games already at halftime. Texas A&M up 17-14 on LSU. Indiana 14-12 on Purdue. Pittsburgh and Duke tied at 10. Houston and UCF 10-13. Houston leads UCF. That looks like about it for games that matter. Good Lord, these commercials. I gotta know if I'm the only one who's feeling these commercials are ridiculous. Hey, we're finally back for football. See, and just pile drive it into the line and get yourself a yard. I mean, come on. I mean, you just run it twice right into the middle of the line. Why even go out? Just go take two knees. Sneak it twice. Oh, you got to catch that ball. It wasn't the best throw, but you got to catch that football. Yeah, you got to help your guy out. Oh, they are giving it to him. That's good. He did look like he had control out of bounds, but Michigan, you got to take a timeout. Reviewing it. Two hands. Caught. Doesn't bobble. He controls it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a catch. Yeah, he's got his hand. His hand never moves on the football, so I think that's got to be a catch. So yeah, so that'll be a first down. But if I have this break as Ohio State and I'm on the field talking, I'm saying to him like, "Hey, can we just not run the ball dead up the middle twice in a row, and then make me have to make a Houdini play on third down?" Come on, why is this taking so long? Oh my God, this game. Jesus, let's go. Run. Oh, you had room. That's pass interference, and he gets the catch. I mean, if you're the Michigan guy, you gotta just tackle him right there, you know? Like, just if you're gonna interfere with him anyway. You only want to give up 15 yards, I get it. But you can't let him make the catch if you do that. I like the mindset, though, of trying to get a quick throw out, pick up 5 yards. This game, I feel like, is going to rest on that arm of Kyle McCord. So, rhythm, you know? There you go, another Oh, God! Whoa, what a hit. I like Sanderson a lot. Whew. Ooh, do you go for it here? I don't know how good their kicker is. I assume he's good because he's kicking for Ohio State. So 4th and 2. Run, yeah, run it down to 4 seconds. Take the timeout, kick the field goal. Interesting, Michigan just letting them do this, though. Interesting choice there, and that's a spot where maybe you miss having Harbaugh in there. Why wouldn't you take the timeout, make them kick it off, see if you get a big return, you know? But instead, you just let them have what they want, which is run it all the way down, 3 seconds, kick a field goal, you know? And it's gotten a little overcast there, so that should help a little bit. I thought that was maybe that's just the NFL that's illegal. I thought that was illegal now, taking the practice kick. Yeah, light schedule tomorrow for the NFL, but I appreciated having games every day over the holiday, you know? Missed it. All right. So 14-10 at half. Good game so far. Wish there wasn't so many commercial breaks. I mean, it's been brutal. 2 hours past kickoff time, and we're just getting to halftime. It's been tough. So hopefully the second half picks up just a little bit instead of continuing to drag. But I have a feeling it being Fox's call that, we're going to have to wait. All right. Go get your drink, your snack, enjoy a little break, go to the bathroom, and we will be back for the second half. As always, let me know if you got any bets on it. You can drop it in the chat while we're on break, all right? All right, everybody, welcome back. Finally getting to the second half. I'm really frustrated with this Fox broadcast. And, they know we're going to watch it, so, what do you do? But, the commercial, the whole thing has been awful. But here we are, finally with the kick for the second half. Michigan with the ball first. Really important drive, I think, here to set the tone for the second half for both teams. The kind of drive that will affect how the rest of the half gets played. Because a touchdown here from Michigan and you're up by 11 and it feels far away. And a stop here by Ohio State and a score and you could be in the lead. So, real big first possession here. Coming out, opening it up. A little quick throw, but a throw nonetheless. This is interesting. His name is Orgy. You can tell I haven't watched a lot of Michigan football. That's Michigan's fault, by the way. These QB run packages, you can't just have them keep every time. I'm not crazy about not having JJ on the field, He's he's arguably your best player. Third and 5. Big third down right here. Just on the edge of field goal range. Wow. Oh, his butt's out of bounds. His butt's out of bounds. So that's going to give you 4th and 5 at about the 32. Long field goal. Again, I don't know their kickers well enough to tell you if I trust them to kick it from this far. But in college, that is a long field goal. Even if you give up the field goal, though, as Ohio State, you're down by a touchdown. I think you feel pretty good. God, the reviews. Whew. So 50 is his long, so this would tie his long. All right, 10-17. I think you got to feel good about that if you're Ohio State. Go down, score a touchdown, tie it up, and let's have a second half game here. You know what I mean? So I think that'd be big. Let's see what's going on around. Louisville up on Kentucky. And a 10-1 Louisville team, I think, is a threat for the college football playoff. I don't think they get in, but I think they're a threat. It would have to, a lot would have to happen, but I think they're a threat. So 11-1, you go to the ACC title game. Maybe you beat Florida State, and I think you're a threat there. 24-21, A&M over LSU right now. A&M looks like they're driving. That A&M team, man. Jimbo Fisher just with the best recruits, and like, what are we doing, you know? Indiana up 21-18 on Purdue. Duke is finally leading Pitt 20-13. UCF leading Houston 27-10. Wake Forest Syracuse is kicked. Yeah, that's it really. As we watch 27 more commercials. That's a lot of abs. I was going to say, yeah, your two losses, though, can't beat a Michigan. Just can't have it. All right, so since the first quarter, McCord 9 for 9 for 109 yards. I said before the game started, I really think it's going to end on his elbow, like shoulder, whatever. Sack finally. Yeah, I really think it's going to come down to McCord winning this game for them. So. Nice move by Marvin. That was a 4-yard gain that Marvin Harrison Jr. turned into a first down, 15-yard pickup. Excellent job. God, he just loves calling him Maserati Marv. Top 5 pick in the NFL draft, probably. Second and 7 and tempo right on the line. I like that. Love that. You run a little slip screen to confuse them. You line them up quick. You run the slip screen. They don't have good communication about who has who. So when you do all that switching, crossing of your wide receivers to force them to switch, it's a mess when they do it, and you end up in a great spot. It's a great call. Love the tempo and the play calling from Ohio State here. Couple quick ones, quick hitters, really good design. Couple times they slow it down, run the football. I mean, I've really liked this drive from them. So this is where I would just have a fire sneak call. 3rd and 1. You run over them. They've got light personnel on the field. Just quick tempo right to the line. Don't let them get set and just sneak it. First and 10, just outside field goal range. Now you're in the high red. Yeah. This is where you got to look to score if you're Ohio State to me. Yeah, see, they're just running the ball. And you get 5, but worry about you converting inside the 20. Second and 4. Another first down. You know, as concerned as I am about them converting in the red zone, their offensive line is feeling it a little bit right now. Which got to make you feel good. Man, they are just running over Michigan right now. Yeah, Klott just called it a taste of their own medicine, and I think that's right. Damn, right up the middle for a touchdown. Yeah. Yeah, you've got some fired up 5-star offensive linemen, let me tell you. A safety who's trying to fill 2 gaps, no less. Oh, maybe it was just like a visual, trick, but it looked like the punter had trouble with that hold. Love it. All right, tied at 17. I just want it to be a good game. You guys know that. Let's see where the bets are. Getting close to a spot where I might be able to hit a middle here. Got Ohio State plus 3.5 before the game. Let's see. Michigan plus 1.5 right now is minus 120. It's basically a pick 'em. Both teams minus on the money line. Stopping a score from Ohio State, and I'll be looking for a middle for sure. Oh, so 3.5. I'd take a 2.5 point Michigan plus 2.5 points for a middle, and just guarantee that I get out of there with something. But I'd be hoping to get a full 3. What's the over-under at? 50 now? Let's see. It is 17-17, so that's 34. So you need 16.5 points, 3 scores. That's tough. It's a lot. It's a lot, especially with the fact that Michigan's going to run the ball, and Ohio State just ran it 8 straight times, which means those quarters are going to go real quick, despite the fact that the commercials are fucking 5 hours long. We Are Family. That show looks terrible. I love that quote. Woody, why did you go for 2 points with a 50-14 lead? Because I couldn't go for 3. Oh, that's great. I have never heard that quote from Woody before, but that's what you want in the rivalry, right? I mean, why did you go for 2? Because I couldn't go for 3. Thank God we had another commercial break right after the kickoff. I don't know what I would have done if we would have gotten football. Are they really taking commercials before and after kickoffs? Oh my God. Guys, I don't know what to do with the commercial breaks. I got to be honest with you. At least people on Twitter are also complaining. It's not just me, because I did feel like it was just me that I was. These commercials have been ridiculous, but it has been unbelievable. All right, well, a run on first down. It's excellent, great. 2nd and 5. McCarthy drilling a ball in there for a first down. And that's what I was saying about tight end. Like, you got to have a quarterback who's okay with trying to fit it in some places, letting your tight end go get it. Spitting up blood. And this is what Michigan can do to you, just hammer, you know what I mean? Oh. McCarthy with an excellent job to pick up the first down there. Couple different points where he made decisions that ended up getting them the first down. And any one of those change and he doesn't pick it up. So nice job by him. Oh. Yeah, the problem is the wall of white is 5 yards down the field. Would have liked to see him run somebody over at the end of that catch, that tight end, but shoot. Oh, and they're trying to put his leg back in place. That's not good. Hopefully he's all right. Oh, more commercials. I wish I had something to do with you guys during these commercial breaks, but I mean, they are just absolutely brutal. It's not even just that they're taking commercial breaks frequently. It's when they do, they're like 4 minutes long. Sad to see that for that kid. Was definitely an NFL prospect, but like I thought, when they got to him, it looked like they were trying to stabilize that leg and maybe put it back in the direction that it was supposed to be. And looks like that's probably what happened there. Air cast already on it. That's tough. That's tough. You don't want your last time coming off a college field to be on a cart, you know? Yeah, so deep breath. You got to gather yourself and play some football here. Luckily, you got a first down, and I would probably just pound the rock here, even if you don't gain anything, right? Just run the football. Oh, or you break one for a touchdown, you know? That can happen too. And we've got a good old-fashioned gunfight. So let's see. That's 30-40, is it? And the pre-game total was 46. So you're a touchdown away from hitting the over here. All right, Ohio State, you got to answer now. Finally, they didn't take a commercial break after the touchdown and a commercial break after the kickoff, but I imagine there's a commercial coming here. Oh, what a hit. Yeah, I mean, that's how Michigan can take over a little bit here. So you get a stop there, drive down and score, and this game's going to feel a whole lot different. My stream's starting to bite it, of course, because life, right? Got to get a stop here if you're Ohio State. And you're in a tough spot, granted, but even just a field goal. Cannot let them score another touchdown. At least in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, he got there, though. Yeah, you love it getting a little chippy. No doubt. No doubt the momentum shift. All right. I'm going to take the quarter commercial break with them. We will be back on the other side for the fourth quarter. All right, welcome back, everybody. Start of the fourth quarter. Man, well, it's not really a flea flicker, but a pitch and a throw, and if Edwards could have put that on him, he would have scored. Got to stiffen if you're Ohio State here. You cannot give up another touchdown. Hey, Clot saying the same thing I just said. How about that? Third down. Here's your play if you're Ohio State. Oh, excellent play. Oh, you had him. Excellent play by the defense. And you needed it. Yeah, buys his guys enough time to get there. Big kick. Ten-point lead. Okay, you need a score here if you're Ohio State. Can't let this thing get more than 2 scores apart, you know? Oh, Kentucky with an explosion. 31-24, Kentucky in the lead. And with the ball. And driving. Wow, impressive. Louisville looked like they had taken hold of that game. Same thing with A&M and LSU. LSU on top now, 34-24. Indiana's still leading Purdue. Duke still leading Pittsburgh. UCF still leading Houston. Syracuse up on Wake Forest 14-7. Interesting. New Call of Duty. I wish I had more to do for you guys during these commercial breaks. Like, I just don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many, and they're so long. The damn man. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for jumping in the chat. How am I doing? I'm annoyed with as many commercials as there are in this freaking football game. That's how I'm doing right now. The game's been so good, and it's just been ruined by commercials for me, but it's been fun so far. You have any money on the game? Just watching for fun? Where are you at, Danda Man? Quick score here would be huge for Ohio State. And like I said before the game, I think it's going to come down to Kyle McCord's arm, man. Nice catch. Who was that, Fleming? And he is staring at it, but I believe, yes, Harbaugh can return for the next game, Matt. I think it was 3 and the final game was this game. But I would have to double check. I would have liked him to complete that ball. I think he was trying to throw it at the running back's feet, but he had some room to run if he could have completed that pass. Even if it's just a field goal here, a quick score is huge, though. Third and 8. Klatt advocating for a touchdown. I think just any score of any kind, you're going to need a stop from your defense at some point, right? So at some point you got to put the onus on them to make a play. Huge hole. I still want to try to score with more than 8 minutes left in the game here. And their tempo is not necessarily indicating that they're thinking that way. First and 10 from about the 15. And this is that high red zone that I want them to score from. But their O-line has been good today, so punching it inside the 20, I'm not as worried about as I was coming into the game. And you're just letting a lot of time go here. If I'm Ryan Day, I'm trying to score with less than 8 minutes left, and they're about to go under it right after the snap here. Harrison scores. There you go. You got in the end zone with more than 8 minutes left, so maybe a little bit by accident, but I'm fine with that. And what I'm trying to do there, if you're counting possessions, I'd say each team probably has 3 left right now. But finally cracking a play open, not exactly the big play that you were looking for from Marvin Harrison, but big enough. But that's scoring from that high red zone like I was talking about. You got more room for your wide receivers to get around. So, all right, quick little commercial break right here. We'll take it with them. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. After more commercials. God, if they kick the ball off and then have another set of commercials, I'm going to lose my mind. Come on, baby, let's go. All right, so Ohio State, no more than a field goal here. But by scoring the touchdown, you gave yourself a little bit of extra breathing room there. If you're Michigan, I think you want to score with less than 3 minutes left. And I think obviously you want a touchdown, but I think the clock is really what you want to keep your eye on. Make sure you're using as much of it as you can. Don't come out of your offense, though, you know. Yeah, nice job by McCarthy. Yeah, it looked like a lot of contact from both of them. I mean, he's blaming the offensive guy for it, but I was okay with the no call. See, and that's what you want to do. I mean, if you can run it for 5 yards a pop and just eat this clock. And now you're thinking maybe 2 possessions left for each team, and maybe 2 and 1. The way that they're eating this clock here. Michigan offensive line can take over the game right here. Yeah, under 5. Still picking up 4 or 5 yards a clip. It's going to be tough if you're Ohio State, man. You got to put an end to this. You cannot let this just tick away. But Michigan doing exactly what I said they'd want to do here. Not only do you want to come away with a score, but you want to do it with under 3 minutes left. Third and 1. You're going to be under 3 minutes here, so I might use a timeout. I probably don't. I leave it for the next set of downs. Yeah, that Michigan offensive line taking over the game. I'd take a timeout. I take a timeout hoping that they throw it on third, but it's just me. Oh, boy. Corum going to pick up a first down, stay in bounds. Super smart. You got to take your first time out here. You got to take your first time out here, Ryan. You got to take your first time out here, Ryan. Oh, jeez. Select a couple seconds tick off. Two minutes left, and they are in trouble right now. All right, let's look at how some of these other games ended. Louisville driving down 7 versus Kentucky with 38 seconds left. You know what? That might even be worth putting on a stream here. Louisville outside chance at a CFP berth. I don't think it's likely. They'd need a lot to happen, but certainly not if they lose this game to UK. All right, flip that game on because it is close, late, and matters. Number 14 LSU up by 12 on Texas A&M with 4 minutes left. Purdue took the lead over Indiana. Duke leading Pittsburgh. Syracuse up 20-10 on Wake Forest. CU and Utah have kicked off. And San Jose State with a 10-0 lead on UNLV, who has a chance at the Mountain West title game. So keeping an eye on this Kentucky-Louisville game right now during all these commercials. .32 seconds, 1 timeout, 2nd and 7, and they're at like midfield. So that's an eternity for Louisville. They're all right. As far as Michigan, Ohio State, going to see runs and timeouts here. Corum for 2 and another timeout. Oh, he needed that. Louisville with a drop pass. You know, you don't have to take commercials with every timeout? Okay, cool. Just making sure. Third and 7 for Louisville. 27 seconds left. Get upfield, bro. Get the first down. Timeout. So you got a little scrum for Louisville, and you pushed them forward for like 5 more yards, but you also wasted like 10 seconds doing that. Smart by Kentucky to hold them up, try to waste some time. Yeah. So you had to burn your last time out. You only got 15 seconds left now. Any completion's got to be past the first down marker if you're Louisville. It's amazing how much can happen in a commercial break, isn't it? Michigan, Ohio State. Oh, I don't know that you needed that 7 yards, but okay. 9 seconds. 2nd and 2. The advantage that you give yourself is you can complete pretty much any pass and stop the clock for a first down. And then kill it. But that's going to leave you one play to get in the end zone. And he just threw an interception. So Louisville is going to lose. I don't know what that does for them in the ACC title race. Puts them at 7 and 2. So NC State can get in to that ACC title game. So 3rd and 6 coming up. Got to get a stop here if you're Ohio State. Michigan takes the timeout. Yeah, that missed field goal looming large, but I really thought that touchdown, I really thought it was a pick. So minute 15, 3rd and 6. Ohio State held on to their timeout and gave up 30 seconds there. So 108, and they'll kick a field goal here, I assume. So you'll be down 6. And that sucks for me, having Ohio State plus 3.5. All right. Now, some would call this the field goal of death. So your win percentage actually goes down if you kick this field goal. If you kick a field goal to go up by more than 3 but less than a full touchdown, you gift them fourth down. Every fourth down, they can go for it. Trying to draw them. It's not suspect. Klatt sitting there saying it's suspect. It is not suspect. If you kick a field goal here to go up by 6, you gift them fourth down. On every fourth down, they're going to go for it because they have to. But if you kick if you don't kick the field goal on fourth downs, they will kick the field goal to tie the game. So your win chance actually goes down if you kick this field goal. Because it doesn't give you a full touchdown. You know what I mean? So I'm not a huge fan of this field goal here. All right, well, 1:06 to go. Let's take another 27-minute commercial break. You know what I mean? Utah up early, 7-0 on CU. Gonna have to return it. So 1 minute. No timeouts, but that's okay in college. Remember, the clock stops every time you get a first down. Anytime they got to move the chains. Down by 6, so you got all 4 downs. He was probably better off dropping that ball, to be honest. He had a couple big O-line recruits come in, Matt. I think it was a 4-star, though. I don't think it was a 5. And then I think he got a transfer, too. But he'll get him. I'd be hard-pressed to believe that he doesn't. Oh, what a shot. That's fine. They have to stop the clock for the chains anyway. Give him the ball and kill it. Way to take a shot. It's always hard to take a shot on that first set of downs. Kill it. What are you doing? Oh. It's going to be incomplete, though. Kill, 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 kill. It's interesting. Yeah, Kyle McCord ripping a couple deep shots here. All right, let's take a look at this. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you gave the call on the field touchdown to the other one, you got to give it to this one, right? And credit to Ibuka for getting on that. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a catch and a fumble. Come on now, let's go. Stands. And now you've got time to call play, right? So you should have your play ready to go. Oh, what are you doing, Kyle McCord? Wait, do you have a roughing the passer call? Hold on. Hold everything. Hold everything. Nope, and sportsmanlike conduct. Wow. So Michigan survives. Crazy. What are you thinking, McCord, here? I can't. Why would you throw this ball? Just hit as he threw. Couldn't get the juice on it that he wanted. Yeah. Well, Ohio State likely out of the playoff. Michigan to the Big Ten title game. It's awesome. Gonna leave having never beat Michigan. All right, well, those big noon games are fun, but now I need a nap. So, you know. Okay, pick's good. Game over. All right, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. Matt, love you hanging out with me the whole time on YouTube. That was awesome. Dana, man, if you're still in, appreciate you. Appreciate everybody for hanging. And don't forget, we've got our NFL pregame show tomorrow, 9 a.m. Here on the Mountain Time Zone, 11 o'clock in the Eastern Time Zone. So come join us for that. All right, y'all. Have a good day.